You ever find yourself just scrolling and scrolling late on a Sunday night? Well, you're not alone. Turns out presidents do it too. And sometimes that late night social media session can totally upend international diplomacy for the whole week. So, what actually happens when you mix high stakes global politics with a chaotic, all caps social media brain dump? Yeah, we're about to find out. All right, we are going to break down one of the wildest pre-summit social media storms you've probably ever seen. Literally post by dizzying post. And hey, if you like explainers that get right to the point, now's a great time to hit that subscribe button. Okay, let's dive in. Okay, so let's set the scene here because the atmosphere is just electric. Donald Trump has just finished a super controversial summit with Vladimir Putin, and now he's just hours away from this massive meeting at the White House with Ukrainian President Zelensky and a bunch of top European leaders. So yeah, the pressure is on. Big time. Think about it. On August 15th, that meeting with Putin in Alaska gets a ton of criticism. Then, that Sunday night, right before this huge Monday meeting with Zelensky, Macron, you name it, what the source material literally calls a rampage on Truth Social kicks off. So, part one, defending the Putin summit. The whole barrage kicks off with Trump going on the offensive against anyone criticizing him. And who's the very first person in his social media sights? None other than Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy. And Trump just fires off this post, and wow, it is personal. He says, the very unattractive, both inside and out, Senator Chris Murphy said Putin got everything he wanted. Right out of the gate, the tone is set. So where did this come from? Well, it was a direct shot at what Murphy said on NBC's Meet the Press, where he'd called the summit a disaster and an embarrassment. Trump's clapback? He called Murphy a lightweight and insisted nobody got anything. This is a real-time social media rebuttal. But he doesn't stop there. Not even close. He immediately broadens the attack, saying, this war can be ended now, but stupid people like Chris Murphy make it much harder to do so. You can feel the pace picking up, and the list of targets is getting longer. And just like that, he pivots again. He's moved on from individual politicians and is now taking on the media itself, claiming the fake news said I suffered a major defeat. He's basically fighting a battle on multiple fronts, all from his social media account. Which brings us to part two, a warning to Zelensky. So right after defending himself, the whole rant takes this sharp turn. It shifts from personal beefs into what really looks like a warning shot aimed right at his next guest. And get this, the next post comes just 7 minutes later. 7! The speed here is just wild. And this next one, wow, it's a bombshell. And it's aimed squarely at the guy he's meeting tomorrow. In all caps, quote, no going into NATO by Ukraine. Some things never change. All caps, 3 exclamation points. That's a pretty stark, very public message to Zelensky hours before they meet. Okay, part 3. America is hottest. You know, just when you think you've figured out the pattern here, the whole thing just pivots again. We've gone from defense to this weird kind of diplomacy, and now we're entering, well, let's call it the absurdist climax. He starts by hyping up the exact same meeting he just set this incredibly tense tone for, posting, big day at the White House tomorrow, my great honor to host them. He then takes a breath for a whole 4 minutes. And then, yep, the posts continue. I mean, the tonal whiplash here is just stunning. 1 year ago, the U.S. was an almost dead country. Now, we are the hottest country, the envy of all. It's just pure, unfiltered self-praise. And just when you think the theme for the night is finally set, it takes one last bizarre turn. He posts this. Do the great American flags I put up look fantastic, or what? So we went from NATO and Putin to flagpole aesthetics. And with that, the brain dump seems to be complete. Now for part 4, Zelensky's firm response. Because while all this is happening on Truth Social, another world leader is putting together a very different kind of message, one that's, a bit more traditionally diplomatic. And the contrast here is just so powerful. On one hand, you have Trump's all-caps ultimatum, no going into NATO by Ukraine. And on the other, you have Zelensky's calm, measured response as he lands in Washington.
And peace must be lasting, not like when Ukraine was forced to give up Crimea.
It's really a masterclass in diplomatic counter-messaging. Which brings us to our last part.
What does this all mean? After all that chaos, what does it really tell us about politics in the age of social media?
So here's what it all boils down to. Unfiltered thoughts from a president, they become instant policy signals. High-stakes diplomacy, it's now playing out live on our social media feeds. This means the tone for a global summit can be set before anyone even shakes hands. And as we just saw, personal grievances can get all tangled up with international policy for the entire world to see. So it really leaves us with this one big question, right? In this age of instant 24/7 communication, where does a leader's personality actually end and their policy begin? Is there even a line anymore? Seriously, what do you think? Let us know down in the comments. And hey, don't forget to like and subscribe for more explainers that try to make sense of all this chaos. Thanks for watching.